2020. Are you ready?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 4 of the Rich Energy British Mini Bikes. We are here in Lancashire, just on the outskirts of Wigan at Three Sisters. This is a very popular track with the mini bike crowd, back here once again on this brutally fast circuit, and we are looking towards a good afternoon's racing. My name is Chris Sora, delighted to... Here we are then, round number 4 of the Rich Energy British Mini Bikes Championship here at Three Sisters, Wigan in Lancashire. Our penultimate race of the first block is about to get underway, and as always we finish off with the stock 140s and their first race about to get underway, Group B. Let's have a look at how they lined up. It was Joe Milnes on pole position with a 104.531, Connor Wyatt in second, only just behind there though, 104.565. Dean Quincy, Nathan Gardner, Adam Jamieson and Nathan Smith making out the top 6. Very, very closely matched on pace. Gaz Pearson, Matthew Corbett, Mark James Cogfield in 9th. A little bit further back, though, is Paul Coombs and William Horner in 12th place. 13th, Andrew Rayfield from Mark Johnston, Darren Coleman, Ian Blatchford, Lewis McKay and Brett Neesham in 18th position. Shane Hopkins, 19th from Craig Scollin. Stephen Blatchford 21st, 22nd for Dean Rowland, Reed Jones and Simon Patterson 24th with no time. The rest of the field not sending a time in qualifying, so they'll start at the back. Ben Clucas, James Hillier, Stephen Tempest, Dave Quincy, Matty McCauley, Jamie Callan in 30th place. 31st for Tommy Champion, Paul Ward and Ben Riley. So some pretty decent riders at the back there, not setting a time. This first lap could be pretty interesting.
It certainly could, and as everyone knows, the 140s, this is the closest competitive battling that we have all season long, and it is one top to bottom in terms of the field that really does separate those drivers who can from those drivers who cannot. You can get eaten alive effectively in this sort of series, really, Chris, if you find yourself maybe making a couple of minor errors here or there, because this is one event which really you have to be at the top of your game for.
Certainly, and one of the things to consider here at Three Sisters, it's a very fast circuit, very similar in a sense to Lyd in the amount of speed that's carried all the way around the track, but there's a few slow technical sections here at Three Sisters as well. And what we've seen already today a couple of times is a mistake on Luna Bend in particular. You've got that long right-hander leading onto the straight, and if you make a mistake and make a slow exit of the corner, it's all about the exit speed really on that corner. You're effectively a sitting duck on the straight as riders come streaming past down the straight. You really can't do anything to battle about that. Riders are being held on the grid for just a moment. I think there was a rider late to the grid, but I think he has on point now and ready to go for the Group B. Oh, tense moments there as they waited the flag to drop. Here they go into the first corner. The starter a little bit longer on the flag there just to add to the tension, but a good start there from Joe Milnes. Quincy, and down the inside goes Connor Wyatt into the lead. Nice move. And Milnes pushed out wide there, and we see Quincy going through, so first to third in one corner.
It's a very, very clean start as they go through first to third. Not the ideal, but there is time here in this one. It's 10 laps worth of racing. There is the 15 of Joe Milnes there, trying to find a way back into the fight as they go through the Luna Bend for the first time and start to attack here. And look at the run from Dean Quincy. Has had experience already so far today trying to get a run, and now how do you defend two at once? It's 3 wide here as they head up towards that Pentith climb corner that comes up along, and this is very well held.
Some very close slipstreaming up the hill there on the first lap. 5 riders, you could almost throw a blanket over them as they make their way down to the final corner. Quincy's got to be brave on the braking there to hold on to the lead. And can he make that stick? Yes, he can as they cross the line. So Quincy leads on the first lap. Dean Quincy, your early race leader. It's going to be Connor Wyatt in second, Adam Jamieson third, Joe Milnes and Nathan Gardner all covered by 1 second, so some classic slipstreaming start to the race there. This is a very close race. All the riders evenly matched on that first lap, and let's just hope they can stay out of trouble and stay together, because this could be a very close race.
And a very close race for some very, very important points that are on the offing as they move on through to the next couple of corners. A little bit of too wide action. Noah's Ark there riding too wide, too deep as they went on through the next couple of corners and onto the Lunar Bend. This one happening right in the middle of the pack as they try and push on through. That is Johnston in 11th place then as they go up through now onto the rise once more, as it seems like for the time being it's second and third. It's Wyatt and Jameson who want the fight.
And Quincy leads them down into the final corner, still very close in amongst the top 5. Rest of the top 10 not too far behind though, really, and there's a very close battle on the edge of that top 10, so all very close indeed. Dean Quincy, the leaders, lapping around 104, 105 at this stage, so a good pace at the front. As down the inside, having a look there, is the 59 Adam Jameson. Oh, nice block pass there from Jameson. Stands the bike in the corner, stops Quincy from repassing. Classic block pass there from Adam Jameson, and takes the lead. Had to be strong into the corner. You could see he was very aggressive into the corner there. Elbows up, making the bike as wide as possible, and it pays off as he takes the lead and pulls a small gap at the front.
Well, that was all about Quincy just running wide, was maybe trying to keep the nose in, trying to hope that there was going to be something there on the exit, but ultimately found wide, and then Widesville, which is right next to wide, so not ideal at all then in terms of that, and trying to go around the outside. That's never wise as you go through that section of road up the Pentith climb, over Coward Summit and down once again. Are you trying the outside line again, Mr. Quincy? Nope, not this time. He's going to have to try and tuck back in and have a little look at turn 1.
Let's have a watch of Dean Quincy next time round, because he does seem very quick down the Conrod Straight. Gets a nice line out of Lunar Corner and carries a lot of momentum into the final few corners. And if he can just get a run there, he could even try an outside line. It would really have to be committed as he cuts down to the inside. We've had trouble there from Mills. I think popped in. We saw him going into the pits a moment ago. And the early pace setter Joe Mills appears to be out of the race. He's gone into the pits. Let's have a look at Quincy though as they make their way towards Lunar Corner, that very important corner on the lap. Connor White still very much in there as well in third place, half a second down. Rest of the top 10 make their way through. You see this battle on the edge of the top 10, still very close indeed.
Never discount Wyatt here in terms of this race in third position, but those who are having a scrap right now doing a brilliant job. There is, of course, the 205 of one Matthew Corbett in 9th position right now in terms of this field. Has the N next to the name, so is the leading newcomer at this moment. And there's a little pass down the inside of him right now. That is Johnston there picking it up. Mark Johnston just diving on through and gaining the place, doing exactly what is needed then. Just pick them off one at a time. That's all you need to focus about when you're in a huge 6-bike train.
Very close battle here on the edge of the top 10, and every corner leaving themselves open to be passed here. The riders just trying to stay in a group here, just to stay together. Nice move there though early on from the 205 Matthew Corbett, and all very close indeed around those first few corners. Almost a bit of strategy here though, because they don't want to get themselves too aggressive into a battle at the moment and potentially lose position later in the race. All very close indeed, as we see just a little bit further ahead there. Nathan Gardner, Matthew James Cockfield and Nathan Smith all battling away. Here they come through Lunar Corner once again, just trying to find an opening somewhere. And of course, with things being so closely poised here, the riders can't afford to be too gung-ho into the corners and sacrifice positions further back. Here they come down the straight, all very close indeed on this battle on the edge of the top 10. Battles throughout the field because the top 3 are still battling away at the front, Jameson, Quincy and Wyatt. But look at this battle on the edge of the top 10 as Quincy takes the lead. All very close here. There's the 7-2-3 of Pearson. Incredibly close racing.
Yep, incredibly close racing. Wyatt jumps up into second as well, so Jameson goes from first to third in the space of a lap then as they move on forward. Next couple of corners coming up as they look to try and work on, okay, what's next here? They're over half distance now in this one. They've got to start thinking about the end game right now. Where do I want to be placed in terms of the battle? Look at this, a little look down the inside. Wyatt wants in here, and Connor Wyatt is searching here, trying to put the power down as early as possible. Of course, that wide line really does favour Quincy here as they make that push onto Conrad once again, side by side as they go into the next left. The inside always favours favouring Wyatt, who now just takes the place. And look at Jameson.
Yeah, Jameson there, stuck on the back then, could benefit here, could go down the inside and potentially even take the lead. He's got the inside line, but Quincy has got the line around the final corner. But a nice move there out to the final corner. He's going to try and go back into the lead. And yes, he does, just about Dean Quincy. Now let's have a look at Quincy, the 287 going around. He seems to favour almost sacrificing the entrance to the corners, but getting the exit speed right there, taking some very smooth lines. And there we see on the final corner, Quincy going back into the lead, using that tactic. It'll be interesting to see what Connor White can do here, because he's just looking at the lines that Quincy's using here and just trying to find a way through where he can improve.
Oh, no!
Bar banging, down he goes heavily there. And Connor White going for the inside line, which wasn't there. Quincy shuts the door. Both riders going for the same bit of track, and Connor Wyatt, I think, could be quite heavily winded there on the side of the track. The race goes on, of course. It appears that Wyatt's just catching his breath. Those sort of crashes, yeah, they can see he's just recapturing his breath, and I think he might have landed quite heavily on his side as well. Those sort of tumbles, they really do knock the wind out of him momentarily. In fairness, a racing incident there, I would say. Dean Quincy had the line. Connor White's having a look down the inside. That's a shame for White, because he's running so well. There we see bars are bent as well. Let's have a look at that again. So, Jameson down the inside. Oh, it was close there. I think Quincy had the line covered. Both riders going for the same bit of track. It just happens sometimes. And unfortunately, of course, the 56, Connor White, a bit of repair work to do a bit later on as well.
You can't stick your nose in there knowing you've got 4 laps to go, though. You can't just have that moment when you're, say, 8 years old and you go to the nearest restaurant that you find and you see the cake selection, you go, I want that one. You can't. You've got to stay patient. You've got to have the full course meal first before you can get to the pudding at the end. So that, you feel, was a case of just being a little bit too greedy, and a bit more experience and patience would have allowed that move maybe to be conducted at a time where 50-50 moves like that are maybe more needed. But it now does allow Jameson to the front of the field, Gardner into second, and Quincy attacking for third. There is, of course, a little battle going on out here on track at the moment, and another one goes down.
Oh, let's try and identify the ride. That's on the approach to the Conrod Straights. That would have been a high-speed tumble, actually. Good to see the rider's okay, and will very quickly move off the track as the approaching riders go through. That's a good battle here on the edge of the top 10, though, isn't it? I think this is a little bit further down, possibly.
No, this is the lead.
Oh, this is the back into the lead now, of course. I beg your pardon, of course. Yeah, Jameson, of course, benefiting from that incident with Dean Quincy earlier on and taking the lead. So let's have a look now. We've got the 59 of Adam Jameson just trying to pull away. You have to say here, the rider who's been very quietly coming through the pack is the 254, Nathan Gardner. And 2 laps to go. This sometimes happens here. Can just use the look at the lines, and he really is picking up the pace. Dean Quincy with the fastest lap of the race. But let's have a look at Gardner here, because he was getting some good lines earlier on and seems to have picked up the pace.
He certainly has, but Quincy's picked it up even further, and that's the issue. If you're going purple around the track with not long to go, Quincy's got bit between teeth. He wants the move, but a wide line there going through the final corner. That's not going to help then. This is the final lap, and Jameson now has to play the hold-up game at this stage. To turn 2, it starts to look a little think about the outside from Gardner. He's not going to get it for the moment, but here we go at Lilies Valley and up towards turn 3. It's a case now of Quincy back into it, but it is forced wide and can't do anything about it. Jameson has got to play the defensive card. Here's where it happens.
Wave yellows going into Luna, that rider going down earlier on, so might benefit Jameson. He's going to try and make that 59 as wide as possible, guard the inside lines. Now let's see what Gardner can do down Conrod Straight. This realistically could be his final chance to take victory as they nip past the 461 of Dean Rowland. Nice move there from Jameson as Quincy again using the outside line to good effect. Back marker could play a part. Oh, no! Bad luck there, and a big tumble for Nathan Gardner at the top of the bank. Went down hard, and that was a bit of bad luck there for Dean Rowland in the wrong place at the wrong time.